In my personal vocabulary, the difference between belief and faith is that belief is based on observable facts, and faith is based on, well, a hope for something to be true. Now, I'm not minimizing the importance of faith. Having faith is vitally important. But faith that is unchallenged is just the unconditional acceptance of something that you accept as fact because you were told to. To me, the object of faith is to believe something that cannot be proven is true. I'm not just talking about religion here, but also about other concepts, other inventions that we've created that require faith. For instance, justice requires faith. Equality requires faith. Love requires faith. I can't prove that someone loves me. I can only have faith that they do. Hope is the engine that drives faith. Without hope, there is no faith. Hope is the wish for a desired outcome in the future. Without hope, what is the point of life? Who can predict the future? We all go about our lives hoping that this action or that action will result in a desired outcome. Now that requires faith. No matter how you envision your future, it will undoubtedly be different. Hi, I'm Tim Rose, and this is the Tim Tunes Podcast. In this episode, we'll cover 3 songs that involve faith. First, we'll hear a song about lost faith. The next song is a prayer from someone whose last resort is faith. And then we'll have a little fun with faith. I hope. What happens to us when we lose our faith? Some of us fall into despair and some of us fight back. It depends on your personality and your situation. This first song from my musical, The Waiting Room, is about a person who has found out they have very limited time to live and have few, if any, options. They react with anger and lash out. When I was in college studying theater, I was taught that there are 3 sources of conflict. One person versus another person, a person versus themselves, and a person versus God. This character is in a conflict with God. They've lost faith, not only because they're going to die, but because they see no point to it all and blame God for not making life have meaning. I can't say I really blame them. This song was written in 2011 and recorded then by me as well. Please give a listen to The Point.
What's it all about? My life, I mean. I wonder what's the point of everything when all the noise and clutter has died down again. I wonder what could be the point of everything. Yesterday my life stretched out so far and wide. Today, as it turns out, it's a much shorter ride. So someone tell me please, so little time remains. What's the point of everything? I've had my share of fortune and my small share of fame. Neither of them ever seem to matter much, although both made me happy for a little while. They never brought me friendship or a loving touch. So what's it all about? My life, I mean. Hey God, what's the point of everything? I'm done telling you how great thou art. Do you reveal my part in everything? Yes, the setting sun burns out and runs away. So someone tell me please, so little time remains, what the hell's the point of everything? My good fortune and my small share of time, I work my fingers to the bloody bone. I've been around the world about 1,000,000 times, but I'd give anything for a few more months at home. But now it's just not fair, and I don't care about anything until I get to know the point of everything. Why me, God? What did I do? I don't deserve it, and you know it too, because they say that you know everything. They say you want my soul, you better look out, son. If you see me coming, I think you better run, 'cause I don't get to get the point of everything. No, I don't get to get the point of anything. No, I don't get to get the point of everything.
The next song is also from the Waiting Room musical. In this song, a different character is faced with the same sort of predicament. Only this character has not lost faith. In fact, they look to God to intervene and provide a solution in their issue. Unfortunately, they've not been very attentive to their faith until they need help. The song is a prayer to invoke God's help with a helpless situation. In the waiting room, different characters are at different stages of grief. The Point emphasized the anger part of grief, while Miracle, this song, emphasizes bargaining. The character is saying that they will worship God more if God provides them with a miracle, a cure. This song was written and recorded in 2016 in my studio in Burlington, Massachusetts. Now please enjoy Miracle.
Hello, Mr. God, I'm sorry it's been so long. It's just I haven't needed much, as not much has gone wrong. It's not that I'm ungrateful, thank you for everything. Now I need your help again with this one tiny thing. too much. I have tried to do good. And since we haven't spoken lately, I'm not sure where I stood. The doctors say I don't have long before my final bow. I just thought that you could help, maybe some way, somehow. 'Cause I need a miracle, if you please. I'm begging you here and now on bended knees, and I will do anything that you say. I will go anywhere, pay any price to make it all go away. I need a miracle from you. I promise to be better. I promise to be true. I promise every single day that I will pray to you. 'Cause I need a miracle, if you please. I'm begging you here and now on bended knees, and I will do anything that you say. I will go anywhere, pay any price to make it all go away. I need a miracle from you just to make it through. I need a miracle from you. Oh, a miracle is what I need from you. Lord, I need your help to make it through.
I was born in Knoxville, in the East Tennessee Valley. When I was growing up, pretty much the first question you asked people was not, where do you go to school, but rather, where do you go to church? Church life was the center of most activity. We went to church during the middle of the week and twice on Sunday. On Sunday morning, we would attend Sunday school and then go to the sanctuary for the main service and a sermon. Then, on Sunday night, we would come back for what was called Training Union, another class and another service with a sermon. Wednesday night was the prayer meeting service and RAs, Royal Ambassadors. If you were not an adult and not in the nursery, you went to RAs, where you could hone your Christian skills. One of my favorite activities in RAs involved what were called Bible sword drills. In Bible sword drills, you would compete by seeing who could draw their Bibles and look up Bible verses the fastest. I remember having a special hardcover Bible so I wouldn't have to deal with the floppy regular Bible covers. Of course, you had to memorize the order of all the books so that you could find the verses the fastest. Psalms is in the middle, for instance. While living in Knoxville, I only knew one Catholic family and one little Jewish girl. I only knew she was Jewish because she brought in this homemade wooden Christmas tree that had gumdrops on the tips of the branches. It was awesome. I remember the teacher remarking, "I didn't know your people celebrated Christmas." The poor little girl turned crimson. And even in the 3rd grade, I felt so bad for her, I just wanted to crawl up in my shoes and die. When I was 10, we moved to Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C. Everything was different. There were all kinds of religions, not just Protestant ones. There were at least as many Catholics as there were Protestants, and nobody even asked anybody where they went to church. It was like it didn't even matter. We went to church once a week, and then not even every week. As I grew older and got exposed to more people with different faiths, I began to see that religion didn't seem to play a very large part in determining whether a person was good or bad. And some of the most religious people I met were the biggest offenders. It's almost like you have to commit sin in order to be forgiven. The bigger the sin, the greater the forgiveness. This is the first recording of this song, created around 1986. It was one of the very first recordings I made on my TAC 4-track cassette recorder. I just sang the melody a cappella, and then improvised the harmony. I went through and listened to other versions that I'd recorded over the years, but I like this one the best of all. I guess I have to have faith that you'll enjoy. Can You Get Me Into Heaven?
Can you get me into heaven, friend? Do you think you've got the key? It's been a couple of years since the good Lord has said word one to me, and Satan's fiery furnace don't sound like my cup of tea. Can you get me into heaven, friend? Do you think you've got the key? Ever since I could remember, we went to church most every day. It was the East Tennessee Valley, the Southern Baptist way, where the Holy Spirit picked me up and he whacked me on the tail. He said, you better be good and do what you should, or I'll send your butt to hell. Can you get me into heaven, friend? Do you think you've got the key? It's been a couple of years since the good Lord has said word one to me, and Satan's fiery furnace don't sound like my cup of tea. Can you get me into heaven, friend? Do you think you've got the key? Well, we moved on up to Washington, where the brimstone had cooled down, where everybody loved the neighbor, so there's always fooling around, and the sermons were so boring that right to sleep I fell. I have better things to do than fall asleep in that pew. I guess I'm headed for hell. Can you get me into heaven, friend? Do you think you've got the key? It's been a couple of years since the good Lord has said word one to me, and Satan's fiery furnace don't sound like my cup of tea. Can you get me into heaven, friend? Do you think you've got the key? Now God made man in his image, according to the tale, and they say we look just like him, and that's all good and well. I just hope he's not offended by these little jokes I tell. Well, I've heard a rumor that he's got a sense of humor. If he don't, I'm headed for hell. Can you get me into heaven, friend? Do you think you've got the key? It's been a couple of years since the good Lord has said word one to me, and Satan's fiery furnace don't sound like my cup of tea. Can you get me into heaven, friend? Do you think you've got the key? Or can you get me into heaven, friend? Do you think you've got the key?
That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening. As always, you can subscribe to this podcast or stream or purchase my published music on your favorite source: Spotify, Pandora, Apple, or Amazon. Keep the faith, baby.
Red and yellow, black and white, they're all precious in his sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world.